Hey folks, this is James with Geothermal Help. I want to talk for a second about a simplified version of an approach that people can take towards deciding, or the decision-making process involved in choosing a mechanical system for their project, whether it be a new construction project or a retrofit. The very nature of ground source heat pumps, geothermal heat pumps, is that they have a tremendous amount of variables that exist in their installation and in their applications, and that causes basically an inability for us to make general statements about them. We can make general statements about some aspects of it, but not in other aspects. And it's the nature of people to seek general statements about things and want to know, well, how much do these systems cost on average? And well, a professional in the industry will know that you can't answer that in a general term because there's simply too many variables that exist with the earth loop types, and there's no way to pin that down until we know more about the projects, until we've limited some of the variables. But we shouldn't let all of these variables that exist cloud the process in a way to where we don't get the right information in front of people to where they can make a well-informed decision, have some tangible stuff to look at, and follow a sort of decision-making process through that they can then make a conclusion about and a statement that they'll be able to stand behind for their own specific project. We're just not able to do it until we go through that process. So what I'm calling it is if this, then that. And what we're going to do is one at a time, we're going to take all the variables that exist within a project, the economic variables, the earth loop variables, the distribution variables, whatever they may be. And we're going to plug those into our situation one at a time. And from that, we're then going to look at how those all affect the situation. And we're going to come up with a conclusion one at a time. And then we're going to take all those conclusions at the end and we're going to add them up. And we're going to decide after all that is done, after we've narrowed down the variables so that we're not just saying, approaching a situation saying, well, how much on average do these things cost? And then how much on average do they save? No such thing. You have to identify what type of earth loop is it? What is it heating? What is the energy loads of the structure? Is it heating and cooling? Too many variables for me to even list right now. But the point should be, if these variables are identified, and one at a time, then we are able to make conclusions about each one. In other words, let's just say, for example, if this economic situation is that the home is on propane, and it also would have been an open source system, then we'd be able to make an economic analysis that would then cause us to conclude that it's a worthwhile project going forward. Or, in a smaller sense, if this property has a high groundwater table and we are able to get the flow that would be required for an open source system, then we would look into using that open source system. If this property does not have that kind of flow and they do not have the space available for a horizontal system, then we're going to have to make the conclusion that it's probably going to have to be a closed loop system. The point I'm trying to make is that there are infinitely more variables in a geothermal system than there are a conventional system that you're just going to plug a gas line into and then it's just going to deliver as many BTUs as that home needs. But we shouldn't let the more simple solution of the conventional fuel burning system win out over the more complicated but many times better solution that the ground source heat pump can provide. And until we go through sort of a process and take ourselves through that all the way, we won't know what that answer is. And so we're going to approach a lot of our articles and we're going to approach a lot of our videos in the future with this type of a format, asking ourselves, if this is the case, then what sort of conclusions can we make from that, and then take us on forward to our overall decision. What mechanical system are we going to choose? Is it a water-to-air ground source heat pump, water-to-water? Is it a boiler? Is it a furnace? What is the best thing that can objectively be shown to be the right energy system for that particular application? So that's how we're going to approach it. Hope it helps. Hope it puts more system in service. Thanks for watching.